The shocking downfall of Queen Jezebel. Two angels that made Lucifer tremble. Few knew what truly happened that night. The moon hung heavy in the sky, a pale witness to the chaos unfolding below. In the heart of Jezreel, whispers of prophecy brushed against the walls of the palace like a chilling wind. Jezebel, the feared queen, sat regally on her throne, her silver hair glistening under the flickering lamplight. But something sinister brewed within her ambition that knew no bounds. Outside, the scent of betrayal lingered in the air, mingling with the smoke from burnt offerings to Baal. Every texture of that night, the rough cobblestones, the rustling of shadows, felt alive with anticipation. In those moments, angels were said to quiver, their wings beating with the fervor of impending doom. It was said that two radiant beings descended, each carrying the weight of divine wrath. Their eyes burned with a fire that made Lucifer himself tremble. The backdrop of her reign was punctuated by torn, bloodied fabrics and the piercing cries of sacrificed lambs. Like a maestro directing an orchestra of chaos, Jezebel wielded her power ruthlessly. Yet, her heart harbored an unshakable fear. Could the very gods she worshipped turn against her? Were the whispers of vengeance she heard at night just figments of her imagination? Or was something far more powerful awakening in the shadows? Jezebel's grip on the kingdom was tightening, yet cracks began to appear. Prophets roamed the land, their voices laden with warnings. Judgment comes for those who forsake the true God. They cried, their exclamations splintering the night air. But Jezebel laughed, a sound cold as ice, echoing through the halls. Would she smite these messengers, or would they stand before her, proclaiming events destined to unravel her reign? That evening, a storm rolled over the land, dark clouds swirling like a premonition of doom. Thunder cracked. It shook the very foundations of Jezreel. Doors rattled. Hearts raced. In the midst of this tempest, a riddle hung in the air. What would stand against the fury of a queen who had lost touch with the divine? As flashes of lightning illuminated the skies, a haunting thought gripped the queen. Would she, too, be consumed by the flames she had stoked? And at what cost? The weight of her sins pressed heavily on her chest, a tightness that screamed for release. Could she turn back? Or would the angels, fierce in their purpose, seal her fate awaiting the dawn? The question lingered, sharper than the storm. Hey! Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon, and while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. In the stillness of the night, as the storm battered the landscape, a figure approached the palace gates. Cloaked in humble dress, he moved with purpose, his heart heavy with the burden of prophecy. This man was a prophet named Elijah, known throughout the lands for delivering messages from the one true God. His spirit was resolute, guided by an unseen hand, even as the winds howled, taunting him as he neared the stronghold of the queen Jezebel, unaware of the prophet's approach, remained enthroned in her tempest of thoughts. The light of the flickering flames cast shadows across her face, revealing a mixture of defiance and trepidation. Each echo of thunder resonated within her, a reminder of the judgment that loomed ever closer. She glanced outside, her intuition tingling with the familiarity of a challenge made manifest. Was it Elijah that she sensed approaching? Would he dare interrupt her dominion? Elijah reached the entrance of the palace, his heart steeped in tension. Despite the overwhelming atmosphere charged with danger, he felt a conviction stronger than fear. He proclaimed loudly, "Jezebel, the Lord God of Israel has seen your abominations, your sacrifices to false idols, and your dealings in blood. You stand at the precipice of wrath and ruin." His voice did not immediately elicit the reaction he anticipated. Instead, there was a momentary silence, thick and suffocating, before the hiss of laughter escaped Jezebel's lips. And who are you, mere man, to challenge the queen? Do you think your words carry weight against my power? The lightning illuminated the poised figure of the prophet, his gaze unwavering. I am but the vessel of his word, queen. You have sown seeds of defiance, and now the harvest is upon you. You will not escape the retribution that awaits. Jezebel stood, defiance radiating from her. Begone, prophet. You are a fool to come here. My gods protect me, and I am beloved by them. Her declaration reverberated against the cold stone walls. Yet, deep within the core of her being, a flicker of doubt ignited. Could the very deities she worshipped turn against her if angered by the prophet's words? As the storm intensified, the walls of the palace trembled. Elijah's heart pounded in sync with the thunder. The Lord reigns over all. You seek to silence my voice with threats, but you cannot silence the truth of his coming judgment. The innocent cry out, and your sins have reached heaven. The air crackled with tension as the two adversaries stood, the prophet unyielding and the queen radiating fury. In the depths of her heart, Jezebel wrestled with her choices. Had her pursuit of power blinded her to the truth of her actions? Would her destiny be shaped by defiance or humility? Silence enveloped the scene, broken only by the tempest outside. As both held their ground, a profound question emerged in the chaos. Was this battle between the queen and the prophet merely a reflection of the greater struggle between good and evil, or was there something more profound at stake, waiting to reveal itself in the shadows? Elijah felt the weight of the storm pressing upon him, the very air charged with anticipation. In the heart of the palace, in the face of Jezebel's contempt, a deeper mystery stirred, one that transcended their bickering. As her laughter rang out, it echoed through the heavens, awakening unseen watchers in realms beyond mortal perception. Two celestial beings hovered in silence, their luminescence blending with the starlit void. The heavens had indeed taken note. The angels exchanged solemn glances. One bore the hand of mercy, while the other wielded the sword of justice. What will be, must be, the angel of mercy murmured, but the heart of Jezebel remains shrouded in darkness. She teeters on the brink of her own making. The angel of justice nodded gravely. Indeed, but there is always the choice every soul breathes in the space between judgment and grace. Let it not be forgotten that the heart, even a hardened one, can relent. Back in the throne room, Jezebel's smile faltered. As she shifted her gaze, the firelight ignited a flicker of doubt within her, illuminating the shadows lurking in her heart. She remembered the days of her rise, the sacrifices made, and the power she had wrested from others. But beneath her arrogance was fear of losing her throne, of becoming an outsider in a realm where power was revered above all. Prophet, she spat, masking her unease. Your God is one of old tales, of hoary traditions and fading memories. My gods have delivered victories. They have brought forth harvests and children. What has your God done for this land? Does he not sit idle while I labor for greatness? Elijah stood firm, his heart resonating with a truth that was alive. Your victories are built on the blood of the innocent. You adorn yourself in lies, veiling a spirit that knows the weight of judgment. You cannot escape the reckoning that awaits. The winds howled in agreement, carrying his words to the very corners of the universe. Each phrase pierced through the veil of Jezebel's bravado, but she clung tightly to her defiance. In her heart, the whispers of doubt grew louder, wrestling for dominance against her pride. Shall I toy with fate? She contemplated, each moment stretching like a coiled spring as thunder clashed once more. A shadow seemed to flicker across the intricately woven tapestries adorning the walls, a sign of the divine presence looming over them. Both the prophet and the queen felt a fleeting moment, an invitation into the abyss of reflection. Jezebel's heart raced. This was far more than a confrontation with a man. What of the people? She thought suddenly, a thought she had tried so hard to dismiss. What do they see in the darkness of my ambition? Are they truly loyal, or merely fearful? Elijah felt the twinge of her internal struggle, a moment of vulnerability catching him off guard. You can turn back, he urged, his voice lower, more imploring. You have the chance to seek redemption, to release your grip on the darkness. But the moment passed, the queen's resolve returning like a flood. Redemption? From what? From power? Her voice trembled with emotion. You would have me renounce the life I built, the very core of my identity. The angels watched in rapt attention, the air thick with the tension of potential transformation. The prophecy swirled around them, uncertainty hanging on the precipice of their dialogue. In this clash of wills, a question unfurled in the tempest that encompassed them: could the path of humility truly reshape the destiny of a heart that had strayed so far from mercy? Or would the storm demand a reckoning? The storm outside raged, fierce and unyielding. Yet within the palace walls, a different tempest brewed, one that swirled with the very essence of faith and doubt. As the clash between Elijah and Jezebel reached a fever pitch, the air grew thick with a tension that neither could fully comprehend. It was as if the heavens themselves leaned in, straining to catch the threads of this intense moment. Elijah, unwavering, felt a prompting deep within his spirit. Jezebel, he continued, what if your glory is but a fleeting mirage? What if there is a greater narrative woven into the fabric of time, one that even you cannot control? The heart that does not seek its maker will find itself cast into shadows it cannot escape. Jezebel's sharp gaze met his, a flicker of vulnerability flashing through her defiance. Beneath her tightly woven facade of power, she felt an unsettling tremor. You speak of narratives, prophet, yet what of my desires? What of the throne I possess, the adoration from my people? Can you offer them to me in exchange for a mere promise of redemption? Suddenly, the shadows expanded around them, swirling against the warm glow of the palace. As the angels watched, one began to descend, its brilliance cutting through the tempestuous darkness that enveloped Jezebel's spirit. It parted the veil, revealing not just a judgment but an opportunity, an invitation to see beyond the immediate queen. The angel of mercy intoned gently, its voice like a soft whisper amidst the clamor. Your heart has known both ambition and fear. The power you cling to can be transformed into a beacon for your people if you choose to relinquish what serves only yourself. Jezebel recoiled, her hands instinctively raising as if to shield herself from this ethereal presence. I need no salvation from a voice that does not know the weight of leadership, nor the intricacies of the hearts I rule. I control destiny, not a power unknown. But Elijah interjected with renewed fervor. Do you not see, Queen? Control is an illusion. In your grasp, you hold a fading candle in the storm. One gust may extinguish it. Yet, there is light yet to be found if you dare to let it in. The atmosphere thickened with the echoes of the angel's presence, weaving around them like a shroud. Jezebel felt her foundations trembling. The voices of the people outside, their whispers borne through the walls, began to stir memories long buried. The laughter of children in the streets, the prayers of those seeking solace, and even the rising question of her legacy loomed large. What would they think if I falter? She mused inwardly, drawing upon her past victories, often wrought with sacrifice that bore fleeting joy. Would they still bow before me, or would my throne become a memory of contempt? The angel of justice lingered in stillness, unfazed by her turmoil. Every heart holds the potential for both greatness and folly. In the annals of time, where do you desire your story to rest? In pride that mocks the heavens or in humility that opens the gates of grace? Elijah, observing her internal battle, said, You seek power in shadows, but in truth power and humility will elevate not only you but your people. It is not the throne that defines a ruler, but the heart that guides them. As the echoes of his words pulsated around the room, Jezebel's composure began to break. She turned, her back to Elijah, uncertainty swirling through her. Would the allure of redemption strip away the very essence of her being? Outside, the storm began to quiet, the winds settling into a gentle breeze that whispered nothing but the promise of renewal. The moment felt pregnant with possibility, yet it shimmered just beyond her grasp. Elijah's heart softened. He realized that the true battle lay not only between them but also with inherent internal struggle she had to embrace. What will you choose, Jezebel? The shadows or the light? The weight of the moment fell heavy upon Jezebel's shoulders, her heart a cacophony of hope and fear. As she grappled with her thoughts, an unanswered question lingered, a haunting uncertainty that invited reflection. Would the queen allow the whispers of doubt to bring forth her truth? Or would these shadows continue to devour her spirit, leaving her alone at the precipice of her fate? In the stillness that followed Elijah's stirring challenge, the air grew thick with anticipation. Jezebel stood at the crossroads of her heart, feeling the delicate strands of her power unravel as the angel's presence remained unwavering. The light around it pulsed like a heartbeat, matching the rhythm of her own troubled soul. What would become of her if she chose the light? The thought sent a chill down her spine. What I desire is not merely power, she finally said, her voice trembling yet resolute. What I desire is legacy. I have fought tooth and nail to carve my name into history. Have you not seen how my reign has altered the landscape of our people? They revere me as a goddess born of the ashes of their toil. The angel, steady and luminous, regarded her with eyes that shimmered like deep wells of wisdom. True reverence flows not from fear, but from a love that stems from the heart, capable of embracing the vulnerable. What will remain of your legacy if it is built upon deceit and tyranny? Elijah nodded in solemn agreement. Your subjects yearn for a guiding star, not a heavy hand. They wish to see their queen as a symbol of hope, not as a figure of oppression. What if your reign could foster trust and lead them into a new dawn? Jezebel felt the weight of their words clash against the built-up walls of her ambitions. Every moment she spent in this divine confrontation chipped away at her facade, revealing the woman beneath the crown vulnerable and scared, yet fierce in her own right. And if I were to make this choice, what would it cost me? Power never comes without a price, dada. But therein lies the paradox, replied the angel of mercy, its voice weaving through her turmoil like a soothing balm. The price of humility is the burden of fear relinquished. There is liberation in surrendering that which binds you to the shadows. Your crown could shine brighter in the light of love. Jezebel turned back toward Elijah, confronting him as if searching for a glimmer of understanding in his unwavering gaze. You, a prophet, stand before me, telling me to embrace humility as I wield the sword of destiny. What do you know of my plight? My path has been smothered in betrayal. I hold tight to my strength because I fear the world would consume me without it. A silence fell, but within it, the whispers of the storm began to surge anew. They were different now, no longer howling with chaos, but soft murmurs of the faithful. Her people had rallied outside, calling upon the heavens for deliverance, for signs of hope. It was too late, she feared, for their eyes were set upon her, judging. But what if? Elijah pressed, sensing her faltering resolve. What if your might could transform? Imagine if a queen declared a new era of grace, that power would intertwine with compassion, bravery with understanding. Would not that legacy endure? Think of the stories they could tell of a queen who chose love over fear, who turned her back on the darkness that poisoned her reign. The idea resonated deep within Jezebel's contemplation, igniting the flicker of possibility she had laid to rest long ago. To become an emblem of hope is a perilous endeavor, and yet perhaps it is the most glorious. What if it is I who fears their judgment, tethering me to a throne that could crumble without my grip? The storm began to dissipate, revealing a soft light spilling through the palace windows as dawn broke on the horizon. In that moment, she caught a glimpse of Destinia, fleeting vision of a queen enveloped in the warmth of her people's embrace, their voices singing praises born not of dread but of admiration. Yet uncertainty gripped her heart like a vice. What awaits me if I step into the visible light? Jezebel whispered, apprehension laced through her words. What if, in forsaking my sovereignty, I only sow the seeds of my own oblivion? Elijah approached her slowly, the light of the angel dancing in the room, as if urging her forward. And what if by embracing your rightful place as a shepherd, you gain a kingdom that shall never fade? Can the heart join forces with the spirit to forge a legacy that withstands the trials of time? As the dawn's glow warmed the shadows, a poignant question lingered in Jezebel's heart. Would she risk everything for the opportunity to transform her reign or cling to the familiar, fearful that the journey into light might fracture her very identity? In the wake of her resolution, she stood poised on the edge of her destiny, reflecting on the question that soared like the wings of angels. What cost would she ultimately pay to unveil the queen she was meant to be? A stillness descended over the palace, the weight of dawn heavy in the air, yet the faint hum of her people's voices drifted through the stone corridors like a gentle breeze. Jezebel stood at the crossroad of her own heart, the choice before her as clear as the light streaming through the windows, but with clarity came an unsettling array of emotions. What if I falter? She murmured, half to herself and half to Elijah. What if my actions are misinterpreted, or worse fail to inspire? I risk not only my reign but the very fabric of their trust. The angel regarded her with an unyielding gaze. Courage, dear queen, is not the absence of fear but the resolve to act despite it. It is the quiet strength that allows one to embrace uncertainty and step forth with faith. With the light bathing her, she felt the weight of every decision she had ever made flood her memories. The power plays, the alliances forged through manipulation, the darkness that had seeped into her spirit. Each moment played like echoes of the past, but now they were tinged with a newfound possibility. What if those actions had not sentenced her to the depths of ruin? What if, instead, they were stepping stones to something far greater? I have worn my crown as armor, she said softly, her fingers brushing along the smooth, cold etchings of the golden band. But perhaps it is time to wear it as a testament, a reminder of what I could become. Elijah stepped forward, the angel's light flickering around him, creating an aura of warmth that filled the space. Your legacy is not bound to the throne you hold. It rests in the hearts you touch. The moment you choose to lead with love, your title transforms from a burden to a beacon. Around them, the whispers of the faithful outside grew louder, the fervor of hope rising like the tidal tide that could sweep them all into a new era or crash against the rocks of despair. The sounds of their chants and prayer shaped a gentle rhythm that mingled with her heartbeat, urging her toward a decision. What if my legacy becomes a tale not of redemption, but of failure? I've seen too many who joined the light only to be swallowed by darkness, their flame extinguished before their time. The doubt stung like a cold wind against her skin, and she trembled internally at the thought of yet more uncertainty. Fear not, the angel spoke gently. Light holds within it the power of transformation, not just for those who embrace it but for those they lead. Should you step forth, you'd not only illuminate your own path but guide those lost in shadows as well. A queen who ignites the spark of belief in her people brings forth a legacy woven from the fabric of love and resilience. Jezebel swallowed hard, the weight of the angel's message pressing on her heart. She imagined herself in the eyes of her subjects, not as a figure to be feared but cherished. What stories would they tell of a ruler who chose compassion over cruelty? What legacy would thrive if she leaned into her vulnerabilities instead of hiding behind her power? As the sun climbed higher, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, she realized she was at a pivotal moment, not just for herself but for the people who stood outside her people, whom she had ruled with an iron fist but who had now risen to seek the dawn of hope. Then it is not only my crown that must change, but the way I wield it, she said, finding strength in her uncertainty. To embrace the love you speak of is also to embrace the risk of failing them. But is it not worth taking the leap? With each word, she felt a shift within inherent awakening sparked by the possibility of love's transformative power. Yet, as her resolve grew, so too did the shadows of anxiety dance before her heart. What if, in this endeavor, I uncover more about myself than I ever wished to see? What happens when the spotlight of change reveals the darkest corners of my own soul? The question lingered heavily as she wrestled with the enormity of her choice. In that moment of reflection, she grasped the crown tightly in her hands, its gold warming against her skin, a symbol, not just of authority but of potential. She stood poised to make a choice that echoed through the heavens, yet the path remained shrouded in uncertainty. Would the strength to step into the light also reveal the frailty